I have no history with Cracker Barrel. At least I didn't have a history with Cracker Barrel until I found out that they allow overnight parking in their parking lots. I always just thought of them as like, Applebee's or Olive Garden, just another chain restaurant. And then when I finally went inside, I thought, okay, they have the cartoon Southern thing, the way that Olive Garden has cartoon Italian, or Outback has cartoon Australian, or Applebee's has whatever it is that Applebee's has. I didn't really think anything about it. But Cracker Barrel gets into a lot of controversies, racism, discriminatory policies, even shootings. And yet the controversy that snowballed, that just really won't let Cracker Barrel go, is so minor. I'm talking about the firing of Brad's wife.
Ask me who I am, and I will tell you. I'm a woman who belongs to her man.
This whole ruckus started on February 27th, 2017, when a guy named Bradley Reed Bird wrote a message on Cracker Barrel's Facebook page, and it said, "Why did you fire my wife?" 6 words that almost broke the internet, frankly. Bradley is married to a woman named Nanette, who had worked for 11 years up until that date at Cracker Barrel. And on that date, she was called to some hotel conference room and fired by a regional manager. And the excuse that she was given for her firing was that she wasn't working out, which seems like a weird thing to say to someone who's been working there for 11 years. Cracker Barrel didn't answer him, but people started expressing support from all over the world. On his personal Facebook page, Bradley wrote a diatribe about it and asked people if they would please go on Cracker Barrel's Facebook page and ask them why they fired his wife. People were happy to oblige, and pretty soon every comment on Cracker Barrel's Facebook page had something to do with Brad's wife.
Ask me who he is, and I will tell you.
Then the memes started showing up.
He's the man who fills this woman's life.
The songs, the YouTube videos.
So please, don't ask me to forsake him.
Oh God, the products.
This woman is that man's wife.
Cracker Barrel made a decision pretty much right away to just ignore the trolls, and the idea being you ignore them, they're going to go away. They're going to get bored with this and go away. Hardly. When I was getting mercilessly bullied on the school bus, yeah, we'll talk about that some other time, my parents told me to ignore them and they would go away. And they did go away. They went away when we got to junior high school, because then there were other things to think about. They did not go away because I ignored them, and these trolls on Cracker Barrel's page didn't go away either. In fact, they spread to other platforms. Pretty soon they were on Twitter and Instagram and all over the place. It's not technically illegal to say why somebody was fired or badmouth an employee's performance, but you have to make sure it's 100% provable, because if not, you're really setting yourself up for a lawsuit. Okay, there's finally a gas station on this stupid turnpike. But anyway, I'm going to jump off and get some fuel. So right when you would think this thing would be dying down, it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. People Magazine did a thing about it. Inc. Magazine did a thing about it. It was in all these business publications. That's when the job offers started rolling in. I think that Chick-fil-A was first, or they were the first to put it on a billboard anyway, and then Wendy's was after that, and I want to say even Hooters offered her a job, but there were a lot of job offers on the table. Brad's wife could really have found herself a nice job by the end. Except that it didn't really exactly end. I mean, it ended, but it didn't end with an ending, It was more like junior high school, where it's not like the kids stopped wanting to beat my ass. It's just that they had more important things to do, so they didn't get to do it as often, And there's still some activity, though. I mean, if you search the hashtag, you might find something posted today. Last time I looked, there was things that were posted last week, but even Brad has pretty much tapered off. I really wanted to dig into it, though, because of a comment that I found. This one is from August of 2019, and he said, "My Cracker Barrel moment was when you tried to blackmail me and held back my wife's earned bonus because the blackmail didn't work. Hashtag against the law." He's not saying that they tried to bribe him to be quiet. He's saying blackmail. So, like, do they have something on Brad? Like, how could Cracker Barrel blackmail him? I want to know more about that. And that's when I decided to reach out to Brad, because I like doing interviews, and I thought, wow, how cool would that be to have Brad tell us what's going on, you know, what's happened. So I sent him a message, and I waited, and, you know, I was going to do this video a couple of weeks ago, but I held off because I was pretty optimistic that I would hear back from him. I didn't hear back from him, so I think Brad Cracker Barreled me. The question that comes up for me is, but why did everybody like jump on this so much? Why did this get so much attention? I think Brad's wife became a stand-in. As divided as we are, you know, as politically, socially, whatever, we've all been through injustice in the workplace. Maybe not as dramatic as getting fired after 11 years of faithful service. It could be as simple as our greatness going unseen. Because we all think we're great, right? I read somewhere that 90% of the workforce in any given establishment thinks they're in the top 10% of the workforce. So, yeah, that math is impossible. We could hold her up and praise her as the best worker of all time, even though we really don't know anything about her. We can pester her bosses the way we can't pester our own, and we can even have a little fun bullying a bully, because let's face it, Cracker Barrel's a bully. And that brings me to another question. Do you think Cracker Barrel is still going to let me park in their parking lot after I post this? I hope so, because that's where we're headed right now. We're going to Cracker Barrel in St. Joseph, Missouri, or maybe it's St. Robert, Missouri. I don't know. I'm getting the Saints mixed up, but we're going to Cracker Barrel. Last time I was in Missouri, I slept in a casino. Video's right there.
So please don't ask me to abuse him. This woman can't do her good man